doing a review now. Oh, so the mighty have fallen once again. Another dude from All Japan's golden era ceases to perform in the ring. So today is a pretty significant day, as a very significant worker has retired from pro wrestling. And yes, his name is the mighty Tenryu. So this comes as a bit of a surprise, I guess. And it just looked like that Tenryu was going to get a distance. He's 60 and he still looks good in the ring. He didn't wrestle that much this year. He didn't take too many bumps, but he still took them. So when required, so he's still active. And he looked decent in the ring, in my opinion. He looked 1,000 times better than Kobashi did towards the end of his tenure. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that even though he was old, he didn't acquire the injuries that some of his contemporaries and his peers did. We're talking about Kenta and Masahiro Chono. I mean, they were basically, they couldn't move. Had the help from the cars and stuff like that. So from all the dudes from All Japan, from the late 80s to 90s, from the head dropping era, Tenryu was basically the last one standing. And Kobashi, Taui, Kawada, they're all inactive, retired. Of course, now where Misawa, Baba, and Jumbo are. So today is a pretty monumental day in the history of not only Japanese pro wrestling, but in pro wrestling in general. The landscape changes today. I mean, so for those unfamiliar with Tenryu, you shouldn't be. He's a legend. He was a guy that had a little charisma. Well, his charisma, if he did exhibit any charisma, it was pale in comparison to his peers, in particular Jumbo Tsuruta. He was touted as being like the grumpy old man, so to speak. And if you watch his old matches, you'll see that gimmick, and he did it quite well. He never gave a lot of weight to the audience, and that's just the way he was. He didn't work the audience at all, much like some of his others did. So a bit of history, just for interest's sake. He started with All Japan, and he basically him and Jumbo basically they founded that base for the feuds to come in the 90s, in the golden age of All Japan. All feuds owe to these segments that involve Tenryu and Jumbo, I think. And I think their feud started in, I think it was 89, and Tenryu left like the year after that, I think, when he realised he wasn't going to get the #1 spot, which was quite a common thing at that time in Japan. Well, still is common. No, people leaving is common, but not people who couldn't get #2. It was common back then, not now. So Tenryu did all sorts of stuff in the early to mid 90s. He jumped ship a few times, as I just said. He formed his own promotion. I think he formed two. He formed the SWS. I'm not sure what that stands for. And then he formed WAR, acronym for Wrestling Association Romance. WAR sounds a lot better, obvious reasons. And the SWS shared talent with WWF at the time, I think. I think that's how he got his spot at the Royal Rumble in '94, I think. So throughout this period where Tenryu actually gained a pinfall against Antonio Inoki. So what this meant for Tenryu was that he's pretty well the only guy in history that has pins against Giant Baba and Inoki. So you start to get some idea of how significant this guy is. He's huge, and today he's huge because he's retiring. So there. There's other significant things. He was the first to win the Triple Crown, which is All Japan's premier title, and he was first to win the IWGP title, which is New Japan's premier crown. So another record, another huge significant thing for him. What else did he do? I think he was the oldest to win both the IWGP and Triple Crown. He won the Triple Crown in his second stint in All Japan. I can't remember who he beat. I think he was in his late 40s. Mid 40s. It was around 2000 and it was late 2000s. I can't remember exactly. And he was also the oldest from the IWGP, and he beat Keiji Muto, and that was in late 90s. So obviously huge because Keiji Muto was the ace of New Japan pretty well by that stage. So another huge thing. So really important. I mean, this guy's probably one of the most significant Japanese pro wrestlers of all time. Like, he'd be probably number 6 or 7, I'd say. Now that he's retired, like, you've got Inoki, Baba, Misawa, Fujinami, Ricky Dozen, obviously. So that's 4. You've probably got Keiji Muto, Hashimoto, there's 5 and 6. So he's probably 7. I could be wrong. Correct me. There's other guys that sort of missed. So very significant in terms of all the Japanese pro wrestling. And you'll probably be seeing a few more videos, a lot more things about this retirement, because he is the last of that All Japan golden era to retire. So yeah, so there you go. Just I just wanted a bit of a memorial from me on Tenryu's legacy. He's one of my favorite pro wrestlers, and if he's not one of yours, too bad for you. Alright, thanks for that. See ya later.